All right, welcome. Today, we're diving into a foundational piece of history, and we're going to use a key historical text as our guide. We're going to break it all down, slide by slide, to really uncover the story. So, let's get started.
Our topic for today is the vast, rich, and super complex history of ancient India. Our entire analysis is built from a single authoritative source document that's going to guide us through all the key moments and developments that shaped the subcontinent.
Now, as always, our analysis is grounded directly in the source material. Everything you're about to see comes from one place. A key historical text that promises to give us a really clear window into this complex era. In fact, our very first slide is the first page of that document.
Which you're looking at right now. Yep, this is the first page of our source document.
Right. I imagine you're probably asking the exact same question I did. You're looking at this slide and thinking, where's the history?
And that's the whole point. This is our source document, and it is completely, utterly empty. This was not part of the plan. And it's not just a single missing page or some kind of title card. We checked. Every single page of the document we were going to use for this is a blank slate. There is literally no data here. So we have to pivot. Welcome to a whole new analysis, the case of the missing data. We're no longer investigating ancient history. We're now investigating what happens when the history we need is simply gone.
Let's think this through together, okay? What could explain these empty pages? Is it just a simple, boring file corruption, a digital conversion error maybe? Perhaps it's a placeholder document that was uploaded by mistake and never actually filled with content. Or, and here's where it gets interesting, is it something else? A deliberate choice, a commentary on historical voids?
This slide frames our problem perfectly. We can pretty much boil it down to two main possibilities. On the one hand, a simple technical glitch. A common error, no deep meaning. The data is just lost. But on the other hand, we've got something far more complex, an intentional message where the very absence of data is the message.
And that second possibility, whether it's true or not, leads us to a much more valuable lesson. Which brings us to our next section, what absence can teach. We're going to find value in what isn't there. This quote on the screen just captures it perfectly. The sudden appearance of a gap in the text forces us to stop and think. That's exactly what happened here, right? We were all ready to passively receive information, but this blank page, it turned us into active investigators, forcing us to question the very foundation of what we were seeing.
You know, this process actually has a name. It's called source criticism. It's the formal process of evaluating any information source, an article, a video, a document, anything, to figure out where it came from, why it was made, and whether or not you can actually trust it.
And this concept breaks down into a simple, really practical framework. For any source you encounter, you ask three critical questions. 1. Origin. Where did this thing come from? 2. Purpose. Why was it made? And 3, this is the big one, verification. Can I trust it? Our blank document, of course, fails spectacularly at all three. So, let's go beyond the blank slate and look at the real takeaways from what started as a failed analysis, but, well, it turned into something else entirely.
So here's the crucial point. We came here today to explain the history of ancient India, and we couldn't do that. But instead, this empty document gave us the raw material to explain something arguably more important in our modern world, the critical importance of questioning what we see.
So, what are the key lessons we stumbled upon here? First, always be critical of your sources. Second, understand that context is just as crucial as the information itself. Third, be comfortable acknowledging what you don't know, because that's where real learning begins. And finally, remember that even a broken, empty source has a story to tell. Its story was about its own absence. So in the end, this blank page, our big problem, it wasn't an obstacle at all. It was an opportunity to stop, to think, and to talk about the very nature of knowledge and how we verify it.
And that leaves us with a final question for you to consider. In an age where we are drowning in endless information, where data is absolutely everywhere, is it possible that the most important skill we can develop is learning how to see and to question what isn't there?